Anjali will have 5 minutes for an opening statement before taking questions. The questions can be submitted via the QR code on our presentation. Anjali, my apologies. Your time has begun.
Can everyone hear me over here? All good on? Lovely. So I'd like to begin by introducing myself a little bit. My name is Anjali. I'm currently a third-year student doing a Bachelor of Applied Computer Science. And for my hobbies, I like to play music and also like to make fun little computer programs. If you see me around, feel free to ask about it. I'll love to talk about it. So I'm running for the position of president in the DSU. Talking to students over my work as counselor, I noted that a lot of students don't know about the DSU. They don't know about the different parts of the DSU, how governance works, what are the operations. And the other thing that I hear about pretty often is student affordability issues when it comes to affording tuition, when it comes to affording housing, food. And I think these two are very related concerns. Some of the duties of president is to do with governance. It's also to ensure oversight over the VPs and be accountable to council. And the type of qualities that I would want to bring to that role is to be open and accountable and to be committed to the role. So for president, I think I would be a good candidate because I already have existing experience working at council. I've worked in a few different committees of the union, like the Oversight Committee, the Bylaw and Policy Review Committee, and as well as I've helped out with student initiatives on the student health plan. Oh, lovely, what's that? So some of the parts of my platform that I'd like to talk about briefly has to do with student issues. So those previous concerns about tuition affordability, being able to support the vice presidents in being able to launch initiatives and to collaborate with the different student services we have at the DSU is important. We do have things like the Sustainability Office and the Student Advocacy Service, and I'd love to see that extended to other parts of student issues. Another part of it is the strategic plan of the union. Currently we have a strategic planning policy document that is a little underutilized. This is used to ensure that the union has long-term objectives that are backed up by short-term objectives. And some of the long-term objectives that I would work to put into a strategic plan, which would be run over the next 3 or 4 years of the union, would be those ideas of being open, being transparent to students, and being committed to fighting for student issues. So if you ever see me around, feel free to ask me any questions about my platform, or if you just have general questions about getting to know me as well, feel free to reach out to me, and I appreciate the opportunity to run for this position.
Thank you, Anjali. You can actually stay up on the stage for your questions. Just put it right there. Okay, the first question submitted from students is, how do you plan to balance being DSU president while being a 4th-year student? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Oh, lovely. It is a little bit confusing. I'm sort of in an in-between between 2nd and 3rd year courses. So for me, I would have to cut down on the number of courses that I'm taking. Currently I'm taking 5 different courses, and I'm going to be cutting down to 4 of the courses, hopefully, so that I have more time to carry out the operations of the union as president. And another big thing is making sure I don't overload myself. It is very easy to get burnt out on these positions. And if you do get burnt out, that's less you're able to contribute to students and to fight for them. So it's important to take some rest on that.
Thank you, Anjali. Your second question. In your platform, you mentioned reconstructing the student union committees. How would you do this? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Lovely. So some of the things, with my experience as counselor, I feel there's certain restructuring that can be done to the council and committees of the union. Part of that will be having greater student feedback built into the committees themselves. Things like opening up committees for student input and having more positions for general members to be in committees. it would be an important part of the structure and the composition of those committees to have regular students involved and have a voice. And another one would be to provide some changes to the council structure. Currently, it's very formalized, but it feels like there's a lack of collaboration between counselors. I know when I came into the position, it was very confusing, and I was a little bit lost on what I was supposed to be doing. So having meetings that are less formal than the council meetings themselves, where councils can talk just freely about issues that are happening with students and how they can help each other on it, I think would be important. So those are some ways that I would like to restructure the council and committees of the AA.
Thank you, Anjali. Your third and final question from the students is, if student fees are reduced, which existing DSU service or program would you restructure to fund a new priority, and why?
So for me, sorry, do you just mind repeating the question real quick? I can make sure I'm sorry.
We'll also restart the timer. If student fees are reduced, which existing DSU service or program would you restructure to fund a new priority, and why?
Okay, I think one of the priorities, going back to what I was talking about previously with student issues, having services like the food bank, for instance, that is able to provide support for students is important to keep around if there was a reduction in fees. To be able to prioritize those kinds of student needs is not just it's really the primary objective of this union. And those are things that I would like to keep and prioritize with their reduction in fees.
Thank you, Anjali. Please give a round of applause for Anjali, our DSU president.